Massachusetts beer review number 12. You'll find out what number that is when I get it right. Gonna look up some information on our beer here today. Can't really see it, it's kind of dark. Miller Fortune beer. This is one of the newest Miller products. It is, I think it's 6.9%. It is, and I have an article up from a CNBC website. I will post the link below when I find it on my computer. Basically, it says here, Miller Fortune is an undistilled, spirited golden lager with a rich, balanced taste and 6.9% by volume. Miller Fortune is brewed with a specialty roasted malt, caramel malt, and Cascade hops for a moderately bitter flavor and a hint of sweetness. It is best served in a rocks glass. Well, we're not going to do that. I know Miller Fortune is in 6 12-packs, 16 and 24 ounce. Battleship gray cans in the off-premise, whatever that means. So yeah, Miller Fortune is trying to target the whiskey drinker, the bourbon drinker in particular, into drinking beer. I did buy this in a 6-pack. That's where I originally acquired this from. I don't believe that this is a twist top. Cap moves around, not a twist top. Let's get this guy opened into our Boston Celtics Miller Lite glass. It's got a, I don't know if you can see it there, it's got etching in the bottom of it to create the carbonation. Now, this is supposed to have that toasted malt character and a little bit of that woody green character that you get from a bottle of whiskey that was aged in a barrel. So, okay. This is pretty much going to be almost like their version of Black Crown from Budweiser. As you can see, it is a golden amber color. Lots of bubbles from the etching. Typical adjunct lager type head. It's very pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Very small. Lots and lots of bubbles. Yeah. Let's give it a smell test. Very clean water and moderate sweetness. Not cloying, like I sometimes say. It has a little bit of, there's like a fruity, little tiny bit of a fruit essence. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm picking up there, but it definitely has the caramel malt. Definitely has a graininess to it, like a barley note, light barley note. And it definitely has a little bit of like this, I don't want to say it's like a woody texture, but I guess this caramel malt and a small amount of roasted barley is really carrying through in the beer's flavor. Reminds me of the Black Crown, including the bottle design. We'll get into that afterwards. Let's try some Miller Fortune. Cheers, guys. It's not bad. It has a nice crisp taste. It actually is refreshing for it being 6.9%. It does have a very nice caramel malt sweetness. And it does have a little bit of character coming in from the 6.9% alcohol, but it's still nothing that I would say is overly alcoholic. It doesn't have that overly alcohol-y presence or heat that you get from whiskeys and bourbons. And it does have a tiny bit of a woody character, but like I say, no fault to Miller. They're trying to brew beers for people to drink and not have a hard time doing that. It's all very light stuff. So, my assessment on the flavor, let me get another sip and tell you about that for the last time. Sweet caramel malt, a little bit of a graininess. You can taste the alcohol, but it's not overpowering. And it has a light, woody, barrel type taste. But in general, this whole beer is very, very light in its flavors, but it's much more flavorful than anything else that I know of that Miller has put out. Here's the cap. It's kind of interesting. It has the black jack kind of a deal going on, Miller, and then on the inside it's white with the red and black Miller M. This whole thing to me, let me give you the mouthfeel here. Crisp, clean, refreshing. You get a big amount of, I believe it's the sweetness. Finish is pretty sweet and grainy. That's probably my main complaint, but that's so hard to complain about. Anyways, this to me, guys, is pretty much, and maybe I should do it, it's pretty much Budweiser Black Crown. Now, Miller Fortune, just like with the Budweiser Black Crown, they're trying to get into this more of a malt liquor deal, more of a malt liquor territory by having a higher 6% like the Platinum, the Budweiser Bud Light Platinum, the Miller Fortune now, here, the one I was just mentioning, the Budweiser Black Crown. I believe Beck's Sapphire is 6%. So a lot of these beer, the major Anheuser-Busch, the major companies of Anheuser-Busch, Miller, and I can't think of one made by Coors. Maybe they'll finally get into the game here and catch up. They're trying to brew a malt liquor without it being called and having that tag and that stigma of it being a malt liquor per se. And I guess in marketing these kind of beers, I guess I commend them for that. So overall, I would definitely give this beer a solid, I'll give it a 3.75. It is not, I'm not going to try to claim that this thing is amazing, because it is not. And I would not find a fault in this beer. I think it's a very good and exceptional beer. It would probably go extremely well with some sausages on the grill, with a little bit of stone ground mustard and peppers and onions, maybe some mushrooms. This would go good with braised beef, beef stew, pot roast, those kind of things. This would be excellent for. So yeah, I definitely want to give it around a B minus, 3.75 on the Miller Fortune by Budweiser. And there it is. Go find it in your area. It's not horrible. Don't drink it in a rocks glass like they tell you to. And this beer is not a gateway beer for bourbon drinkers or whiskey drinkers if they don't already drink the bubbly stuff. So, in conclusion, 3.75, B minus range. And until next time, cheers, everybody.